Hello and welcome to Education on Fire. We are live. This is the first live of 2026. We wanted to do this because, of course, this week we managed to drop episode 1 for Graus Gets Gritty. It's a season that I've done with Professor Dr. Graus, OBE. It's been an absolute privilege. We recorded it just before Christmas. And I wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to come together as a community to talk about some of those things that we've actually talked about on the podcast. We wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to get involved because we want to have this as a national, but actually a global conversation about education, about schooling, the difference between education and schooling, and all the things that we talked about on the podcast. So this is just a chance for me to come in, give you a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of background about how that's going to work, what it all involves, and go from there. So the first thing I want to say is, first of all, thank you very much to Gare, and to make sure that everything that you do gets feeded back to Gare and gives us the opportunity to continue this conversation. Whatever you're sharing on social media, if you use the hashtag Education on Fire, it really is this opportunity to have these conversations across everything that we're doing. There's been lots of celebrities in the press recently talking about their struggles with education, or maybe their children's struggles within education, but they're all quite siloed based on certain circumstances. And we want this to be something which kind of talks about education generally. One of the things that we've managed to cover in the episodes is the fact that we should maybe have a cross-party understanding of where we want education to go, not go in these sort of 5-year cycles and all those sorts of things that are obviously on the podcast. So we just want to make sure that we have this opportunity in a way to kind of bring all of those things together. Now, if you haven't seen the podcast, then do go and check that out. I'll show you the best way of doing that in a minute. But just the main reason for having this series was that actually in 2026, this is the 10th anniversary of Education on Fire, and we're also going to go through 500 episodes. So it's an amazing achievement. It's something I wanted to be able to share and something I wanted to celebrate. And when Professor Graus came to me and said, look, could we do this based on his book through a different lens, I jumped at the chance. It was a great way to have these conversations and a good way to kind of feel like I was really able to share what was going on. So if you are watching live, please do leave a comment. Let me know where you are. Let me know if you've actually listened to the first episode. It'd be great to have those interactions. We're going to be here on a Wednesday, 5 o'clock here in the UK, for the next few weeks, certainly through till into April, till we finish this season. And so I'm really excited to be able to have this ongoing conversation in terms of making sure that, yeah, hopefully we can change something. Hopefully we can have this sort of global dialogue, and we're really interested to see how you fit into it, whether you're a teacher, you're a parent, whether you're a mentor, maybe you're working in education, maybe you have a company that you're going to be supporting through education, a charity, whatever it happens to be, do let me know. And we want to sort of share all of that fantastic work that's going on within education going forward. So here we are. Or rather, here we're not. So it seems. There we go. So this is Education on Fire. This is the website, as you can see. Graus Gets Gritty is the name of the season as we've done it, because we talk about things in a not necessarily sort of politically centric way. We want to make sure that what we say is what we believe, and we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from so many different ways. So we decided to call it that, and just gave us a chance to have it slightly memorable, we kind of hoped anyway. So if you click on Education on Fire, you can click through to the podcast episode. So obviously you can listen to the podcast on the website here. You can also, as you can see, Apple, Spotify, whatever your favorite platform is the most useful thing to click on, and just search for Education on Fire. If you like watching these things, you can also go onto YouTube. They're going to be on there as well, of course, where we are here. So I'm actually streaming onto YouTube, onto the Education on Fire channel, but also in LinkedIn as well, because I've connected with many people on LinkedIn. A lot of people excited and really obviously interested in doing amazing work in education. Wanted there to be a chance to be live and to actually be able to contact you as you were there as well. So what I want to do is I want to show you really in a nutshell what the series is about, what Gare's about, and what we're trying to do. And we tried to sort of together sort of put this in a really sort of succinct way. And in the end, we thought, as everybody now, we're going to use AI to do that. And I put our original conversation into Notebook LM, came up with an AI podcast just of 4 or 5 minutes, which kind of summarized everything that we've talked about, everything related to his book, things that we've done in the past, added a few photos and some things my end to create this video. So I thought this is the best way to kind of share it. And you may well have seen this on the YouTube channel already, but it kind of is a good sort of idea about what GGGG is all about, what we're trying to do, and some of the key things that we actually want to be able to cover.
Okay, let's dive into a really powerful way of looking at education. It's an idea that might just challenge everything you've ever thought about what school is supposed to be.
So, we're going to start with this foundational belief from the educational visionary Professor Dr. Graus. It's so simple, but it's incredibly profound. A child's world, their entire horizon of what's possible for them, is something we build. It's based on the experiences we give them.
And that, of course, leads to a really critical question for all of us. If a child's dreams are literally limited by what they see, then what are we actually showing them in our schools day in and day out? It kind of forces you to step back and rethink the whole purpose of our education system, doesn't it? So, who is the man behind all these big ideas? Well, Professor Graus isn't just some theorist. He's a genuine disruptor in the world of learning. He's a celebrated pioneer. I mean, he was even honored by the Queen with an OBE for his work. His whole career has been laser focused on one thing: creating learning environments that are dynamic, hands-on, and built completely around the child. And I love this description of his approach. It's been called a place where Jean-Jacques Rousseau meets Willy Wonka. Just think about that for a second. It's this perfect mix of deep, serious educational philosophy and the pure, imaginative wonder of a chocolate factory. It's about serious learning, but never, ever losing that sense of joy and discovery. Okay, so with that philosophy in mind, Professor Graus gives a pretty sharp diagnosis of what he thinks is broken in modern schooling. And he argues that we've just become obsessed with all the wrong things, for all the wrong reasons. He says that at the very heart of the problem is a fundamental lack of trust. And when you think about it, it's everywhere. From national inspections all the way down to school rules like silent corridors, it all sends a clear message. We don't really trust our teachers to teach, and we definitely don't trust our children to learn. And what's the result of all this mistrust? Well, our whole sense of accountability has shifted. We're not accountable to the child anymore. We're accountable to the system, to the metrics, to the frameworks, to the political goals. The success of the system itself has become way more important than the success of the actual child. This analogy he uses just perfectly illustrates the point. He points out that if you actually read a lot of educational policy documents, the word child is often missing. The very person the whole system is supposed to be for becomes just another data point, almost an afterthought in a conversation about their own future. It's wild. But here's the good part. After diagnosing the problem, he doesn't just leave us hanging. He offers a really inspiring and actionable vision for a better way forward, a way that completely redefines what the end goal should be. And this right here is the absolute core of his vision, this powerful distinction he makes. Schooling, he says, is a finite process. It's about getting through a set number of years, it's about passing tests. But education, oh, that's a lifelong journey. It isn't about teaching kids what to think, it's about teaching them how to think. It's about preparing them for life itself. So, how do we actually do this? Well, his framework is built on 4 key steps. It all starts with trust. From there, you provide real-world experiences so they can connect learning to life. And doing that, well, that builds confidence, the freedom to get things wrong. And the ultimate goal of all of this? To help every single child find their own unique passion. You know, their why, the thing that's going to drive them for the rest of their life. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? What he's saying is that confidence, that resilience to try and fail and learn from it, that's the real engine of success. And the grades and the test scores, they're just a byproduct. If you get the confidence right, he says, the grades will take care of themselves. All right, so finally, let's talk about the legacy of this vision. Because this isn't just about changing systems on a grand scale. It's about the personal responsibility that every single educator holds in their hands every single day. And look, these aren't just theories on a page. These are real-world initiatives that have already impacted millions of kids. Places like Kidzania, which is literally a city run by kids, or the Children's University. These are spaces where children actually get to experience their potential, not just hear about it in a classroom. And you know, for him, this work is deeply, deeply personal. He shared that the process of writing down his philosophy for his book actually gave him the resilience he needed to face a personal cancer diagnosis. The vision of strength that he has for children, well, it became his own source of strength. And this is the powerful reminder he gives to every educator out there. Your influence doesn't just end when the school bell rings, it echoes for decades. 50 years from now, someone you taught is going to be telling a story, and in that story, they will say your name. And that really just leaves us with this final provocative thought. The system might have its flaws, sure, but that connection between an educator and a child is a space of immense power. The legacy you create, the story they're going to tell about you, at the end of the day, that is up to you.
So there we are. We thought that was the most succinct, the easiest way to kind of, in a nutshell, kind of talk about what we're all about. We use his book through a different lens as the starting point for the podcast. We basically take the name of each of the chapters, so there are 7 of those, and we go through deep dive into each of those chapters and talk around those and have some wonderful conversations. All of those have been recorded already. We've got some great testimonials from people that have been involved in the book as well, some friends of Gare's and people that he really trusts and admires who've really been supportive of the book. And then we're going to have 3 episodes at the end of that series, and from there we're going to cover sort of the area of education in different ways. So we're going to have an episode on the early years, we're going to have an episode on schooling, and then the final episode of that will be further higher education. So we want to sort of have a discussion with people who are involved in these areas on each of those separate parts, which we think is going to be really, really important, because then we can get a sort of a real sense of that whole length of what children go through. Now, the final thing that we're going to do here live is going to be the opportunity for us to have a Q&A with Gare in real time. He's going to be a guest, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And the way to be part of that is to be on the Education on Fire email list. So if you go to educationonfire.com, that's the best place to get on the email list, and also to find all the information, obviously, of all the episodes as they come out as well. And so we're going to have everybody in Zoom, and those people are going to have the chance to obviously be part of that and ask him some questions in real time. So that's going to be really fun. That's going to be sometime probably late March, early April. So I do keep an eye out for that as well. So like I said, if you do want to leave a comment during these live streams, you absolutely can. Just let me know. I can bring their comments up. We can have discussions. We can go backwards and forth. We can have those sort of interactions and conversations in real time. And the other thing I want to make sure that you really sort of understand as well is the fact that what you can do is you can email me. Like we said, we can use the hashtag, keep all of those dialogues going, and start to have this conversation with everybody that's going to be there. And that's kind of the essence of what it's all about. And it's just that kind of a chance to use the podcast series, these 10 episodes, as a kind of almost like a starting point, even though they're obviously many hours worth of work, but use that as a starting point to have these conversations for people who are working in different areas of education, different people who've got a point they want to come together. And also I wanted to invite you on, so of course you can come here, have these conversations, interact with the comments, but if you'd like to be a guest on one of the live shows, do get in touch and let me know as well. We've got some guests already lined up, so each week isn't necessarily just going to be me talking to you as we are here. I've got some guests coming on. We've got Cynthia coming back doing some mindfulness with us, and lots of other people who are just really keen to sort of share what they're doing. Like I said, whether it's people who are working in education, teachers, parents, mentors, if the child is at the heart of what you do, that's the most important thing. So really want to say thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Give me the opportunity to come back again. As I said, it's going to be every Wednesday at 5 p.m. here in the UK. That's enough for me for today. I really appreciate everybody that you've watched. Leave us a comment. If you're watching on the replay, we're here for you. This is the starting point, hopefully, of a fantastic journey. And to celebrate this 10 years of Education on Fire and 500 episodes once we get further into the year of the podcast. Thanks so much indeed. Really appreciate you, and we'll be back very soon. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire.